My name is Kevin Clayton. I'm a member of the Parksville Downtown Business Association, the organization which commissioned the Connie Watt sculpture that we're unveiling here today. If you haven't seen Connie Watt's work before, you're in for a very big treat. Connie is a prolific artist who has mastered many mediums. She makes stunning furniture, beautiful prints, gorgeous clothing, fantastic doors, and of course, sculpture. If you've ever traveled through international arrivals in Vancouver, you can't help but notice Connie's raven as it watches over you while you make your way through. Connie's work and influence seems to be everywhere. In addition to being a great artist, Connie is a successful project manager. Over the last few years, she's been very busy as part of the 2010 Winter Olympics team, managing Aboriginal art installations at each Olympic venue. Whether making art or managing production, Connie is a creative force to be reckoned with. And we are lucky enough to have pinned her down long enough to create this wonderful work that we are about to unveil today.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Lena Ross, and I come from the Tsisha First Nation and the Hupetchesut First Nation. I'm here today to say a prayer to begin, the proceedings today. And I just wanted to mention really quickly that I'm very honored to be standing up here because Connie's not only a wonderful artist, she's one of my relatives also. And we have connections from both sides of our heritage, from the Gitxsan First Nation, which I come from too, and from the Tsisha First Nation. So I'm going to open with a prayer, and this is a prayer that was made for a training program, and what it asks for, well, first of all, I'll do the prayer in our language and then I'll translate it afterwards. Waikashnas, hasapi hakwes, sasakwinin sutis, hupi in hohtakshi, takschi kukwapintashi, katsi in klitmaksti, waikashnas. The prayer says, Creator, we ask you, we are pleading to you to help us to learn, and to help us to take a straight road, and to help us be strong. Have a great day.
The Parksville Downtown Business Association, which commissioned the sculpture, has close to 400 members. They are property owners and businesses in the downtown area, which extends from Jensen Street, where City Hall is, to the waterfront, and from McMillan Street, which is right here, all the way to McVickers Street, which is bordered by Quality Foods and Thrifty Foods. When the sculpture was first proposed, our president was Marilyn Hahn, and Greg Saba was heading our Public Art Committee. It's these two who led to the commissioning of the sculpture, along with the former executive director, Ann Cameron, who managed the process of selecting the artist. I would now like to call on Anthony Vasilison, president of the Parksville Downtown Business Association, to share our gratitude for the many individuals, businesses, organizations, and company that contributed to the sculpture installation.
Good afternoon, good morning everyone. Back when we first started this project, we had no idea what it involved or what kind of expertise would be required. If Michelle Jones wasn't on board, I'm not sure what we would have done. Michelle has been critical to the success of this project. She spent weeks and possibly months working out all the engineering intricacies pertaining to the sculpture. You may ask yourself, how hard and involved can this be? But believe me, this project was very involved and full of lessons being learned all along the way. Michelle, who is a member of the Oceanside Development and Construction Association, project managed and coordinated the permitting, planning, base construction, and installation. She also assembled an impressive group of talent, all members of the Oceanside Construction and Development Association, who donated both their time and the materials to get this project completed. We greatly appreciate the contributions of Timberlake Jones Engineering, Michelle Jones and John Garcutt, who project managed the installation work. McDonald Gray Consultants, Karen McDonald and Nigel Gray, who developed the plaza design, did the landscaping, and Kara, who also stepped in to manage the project when Michelle was out of town. We'd like to thank Herald Engineering, and that's Lee Rowley, who provided structural engineering services for the concrete base and the footing, and Jimmy Valerie, who assisted. We'd like to thank Mike Sims and Guy Fletcher of Sims and Associates, Land Surveying, who provided the legal survey services to complete the statutory right-of-way plan for the sculpture location. We'd like to thank Triple H Construction, Mike Hill, Jim Wilson, John Wilson, Pete Tesser, and Randy Gushlak, who constructed the base and the plaza. We'd like to thank Ken McDowell of Mako Mix Limited, who donated the concrete. Kevin Hitchin of the Wellington Foundry fabricated and finished the sculpture support. We'd like to thank Bruce Cowden of Northridge Equipment, Marty Robinson of Robbie's Contracting, and John Christie of Parksville Heavy Equipment, all of who provided site preparation services. And we'd also like to thank Dwayne Round of Parks West Construction, who acted as the project coordinator. We'd like to thank Highway 4 Rentals, who has supplied the equipment. We'd also like to say thanks to Jerry Olsted of Central Builders Supply, who supplied construction materials. Thank you to Wally of Canham Systems, who provided the electrical work. Dennis Ozero of Ozero Sand and Gravel, who provided the topsoil. Say thank you to Colin Springford and Larry of Havelock Storage, who provided the crane truck for putting up the sculpture. And we'd also like to thank Wendell Wells, who provided cement finishing. It was a diverse crew of volunteers that provided services and materials, and they all have one thing in common. They're all members of the Oceanside Construction and Development Association. The association, headed up by Bruce Cowden, brought an amazing spirit of collaboration to the sculpture project. We can't thank them enough for all that they have done and the energy and enthusiasm that they brought to the task at hand. Helping to make it happen were also the property owners, Ross Kipp and Rob Hunter of Devon Properties Limited. From day one, they were supportive and helpful whenever we needed assistance or permission. They even gave up 2 parking spaces and their plaza signage to make this happen. We'd also like to acknowledge the gracious support of all the businesses in the plaza. They were very welcoming and didn't seem to be fazed at all by the demolition or the construction that took place over the last several weeks. The City of Parksville kindly contributed to the development of the sculpture base, and city staff were more than helpful in getting us permits and documents throughout the planning process. At the City Works Yard, staff made space for the sculpture to be stored and moved the piece into place. This sculpture has been quite the collaboration. The Oceanside Construction and Development Association has been a fantastic supporter. The Parksville and District Chamber of Commerce helped us to promote this event, and the Oceanside Community Arts Council offered up the space for Connie to exhibit her work and a place for us to hold our reception afterwards. Thank you all so very much. Through collaboration, we've got it done. Mayor Main, would you like to join me with the unveiling, please?
Good morning to our honored guests, members of the Tahasset and Musqueam First Nations, fellow members of council, and ladies and gentlemen. First off, I'd like to thank the Tahasset elders for their blessing this morning and for allowing us to be here. It is indeed a pleasure for me to participate in this ceremony and to accept, on behalf of the City of Parksville, the gift of this magnificent sculpture. My congratulations to Connie Watt. We are fortunate to have your creative talents now on permanent display in Kinship of Play. My congratulations to the members of the Parksville Downtown Business Association for their insight and vision in leading this project. It has been a true collaboration with so many individuals and organizations and businesses involved all along the way. Once again, on behalf of the City of Parksville, I want to thank you for your gift. It's truly an honor. Thank you.
Acknowledge and thank the Snanas people and the Gulf people for allowing us to be here. To thank the City of Parksville for allowing Connie to have this beautiful piece of art on this street corner here. It's such a beautiful piece, and we're so proud of Connie, and we're so proud that she can acknowledge her roots and the connection to Sishat, and to always show that connection by song and dance, and because it represents culture in its wholeness, the singing and dancing. The understanding that we have great wealth in Sishat. We have great wealth as Sishat people, and we're so proud that Connie can acknowledge that and to the Sichat family here, because she has a large family, probably 10% of her family here, and it's quite a bit of her family here, so we're so proud that everybody's here. We're going to sing a couple of songs, and
Before we close our program today, I take great pleasure in inviting Connie to share with us today the story behind Kinship of Play. Please welcome Connie Watts.
This is called Kinship of Play. Its initial working title was Circus, because for me, circus is embracing. It was always a family event, and that's what Parksville is for me. We spent summers here with my Aunt Sheila and my cousin Melinda here. Much mischief going on in that time, and it was always lots of fun and lots of family, and it was always big events happening. So that's what this piece was embracing. And so the three initial figures that started was, of course, leaning towards the sky, the raven, the bear of the land, and the seal of the water. So land, water, land, and air. And the words entice, embrace, and explore, of course, reflect what I feel of Parksville. And then centering and grounding the piece together, and the curlicue is an abstracted tree of life. So of all of these pieces coming together and formulating or forming a community together, a strong community that's grounded. And the three figures themselves, the raven being a trickster but always learning and having fun, the bear creating a safe space, and the seal, of course, in its vast curiosity, always exploring. And there was a quote when Rena and I were working on a manuscript that said, and she'll probably correct me because she's here, because I'll get it wrong, but in an hour of play you learn more about someone than in a year of work. So this piece is that hour of play.